presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmark. We are Kinsler.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Well, today the Tigers will lean on lefty David Price to overpower the Minnesota Twins. 263 strikeouts this year, second in the major leagues. On a gorgeous afternoon for baseball here in downtown Detroit. Final game of the series between the Minnesota Twins and the Detroit Tigers. David Price makes his way out for his most important start of the year. Tigers magic number 1. They need a victory here today against Minnesota. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for the final game of the season. Hopefully a celebration after this game today. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. You might as well do it today, Ron. And, well, David Price got to get it done here this afternoon. This is why they got him.
Well, they've got the right guy on the mound. There's no debate about that. But what the Tigers offense is going to have to do here today, they're going to have to make it easy for David Price. They're going to have to score some runs very early in this game and take Minnesota out of the equation.
All right, now the Twins, they've been a little bit too comfortable offensively in this series. Maybe Price pitching a little bit more inside today to make them a little bit more uncomfortable.
That's a great observation on your part, and that's exactly what I've noticed out of David Price the last few times he's gone out there. He's got way too good of stuff to give up as many hits as he's given up. And the Minnesota Twins, they've gotten 31 hits in the last 2 days, but by going inside aggressively, that really opens up the change piece for David Price. That opens up the outside cutter to the right-handed batters as well. That makes the breaking ball a much better pitch for him. His life is so much easier when he is pitching aggressively inside, and he doesn't have to go off the plate inside. David Price has the kind of stuff that he can go on the plate inside and get swings and misses and also strikeouts.
All right, hopefully the Tigers take care of business here today. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Trevor Thompson today. It all comes down to this. Win and you celebrate. It's as simple as that, folks. Tigers Twins coming up next. Ball here in the Motor City. David Price getting set to make a huge start for the Tigers here today. He is presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
When the Tigers acquired David Price right at the trade deadline, they envisioned him pitching some huge games for them. They did not envision him pitching game 162 with what it holds here today.
And we are ready for baseball. Price's first pitch of the ball game is a strike. And we are underway this afternoon. Danny Santana, the batter.
And Price has a fastball that will get all the way up to 98 miles an hour. His best pitch really all year has been his cut fastball. The batting average against him on that pitch is under 200.
The 0-1 is lifted foul, back out of play.
Last couple of days, the Minnesota hitters team, they pretty much had their way with starting pitching. David will have to negate that this afternoon.
Another blowout win last night for the Twins, in which they pounded out 16 hits. You would expect it'll be much different here today with David Price on the hill. 0-2 the count on Santana, the Twins leadoff man. And a ball that just missed inside, 1-2.
We're going to see quite a bit of that today. And David Price has done that in his last few starts, going inside, which opens up the outside corner for a changeup or a cut fastball, which he'll start off the plate and it'll end up on the corner.
Avila behind the dish again today, waiting on a 1-2. Here it is. And a foul at home plate. Santana stays alive. Walking around the clubhouse this morning, David Price seemed as relaxed and as cool and as calm as anybody. He's a veteran. He's been through these wars. He knows what to expect today. He's got Dozier waiting on deck. Twins bat in the first inning, just underway. Final game of the regular season. Now again the 1-2. Lifted again, back out of play.
That's what the Minnesota Twins team will do. They will wear down some starting pitching. After you get ahead of them, it's nothing for them to foul off a couple of pitches. They have really been tough on the Tigers all year long. They've been better offensively against Detroit than any other team in baseball.
Santana fouls off another, so he continues to battle Price.
And David Price may as well go back inside with another one of those really good fastballs at about 95 to see if Santana can catch up to it. If he doesn't catch up to it, more than likely he'll pop it up in the infield.
David coming in needs 6 strikeouts to tie Corey Kluber for the strikeout title this year, 7 to pass him. And that is rolled foul, third base side. So Santana, who's been a pest all season long against Tigers pitching, 375 versus Detroit, is battling Price here to get this one going.
And David Price about to throw his 8th pitch of the game to Santana to lead off this contest.
And again the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase. First strikeout of the ball game for David. That way started, one gone. Here is the rest of the lineup for the Minnesota Twins, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Santana. Dozier and Mauer will follow. Vargas, Pinto, and Arcia in the middle of the lineup. Escobar, well, this season against Detroit, he's done great work. Herman and Hicks will round it out.
And David Price finally able to put Danny Sanchez away, Santana, with a cutter at the top of the strike zone.
We'll bring up Brian Dozier now. Batting in the 2 spot again in this game. He's had a really good series on both sides of the baseball. He takes ball 1 outside. Bullpen, we expect, will not really be an issue today. The Tigers, as Brad Ausmus said before the game, have everybody available with the exception of Scherzer, Verlander, and Lobstein. But the hope is that David goes deep into this game. There's a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dozier at 244, but the other numbers are good. He's a 20-20 guy this year. 23 homers, 21 steals. Knocked in 71. The 1-1 pitch. Popped up. Right side of the infield. It is Kinsler at foul ground. 2 gone.
And while we have a moment, I will set the Tigers defensive alignment for you in game 162. J.D. Martinez, 44th consecutive start. Boy, as he seized that left field position. Carrera getting the start out in center field today.
Rajai Davis more than likely not available for a few days.
44 consecutive starts for JD. Incredible indeed. And he has deserved every one of those starts.
Torrey Hunter also down the stretch has played about a month's worth of games in a row without taking a day off. So Brad Ausmus has really leaned on his outfield.
Joe Mauer looks at a strike.
And Torrey was one of those guys where Brad was giving him an occasional day off because of his age.
Well, in a perfect world, it would have been that way the final week of the season had the Tigers put some room between themselves and the competition, but it never materialized. And Brad continues to run out his starters every day. There's a soft ground ball left side base hit. Joe Mauer has done that a bunch in his career. 2-out single. Another spectacular day here at the ballpark. Our field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. It is 72 in game time here this afternoon.
And very important for David Price to keep the Minnesota Twins off the board first here today. A lot of their runs in the series have been scored after 2 are out. They've had no issues getting the first couple of outs, but for whatever reason, that 3rd out has been very, very difficult for them to get.
Well, they have scored 25 runs in the series. 16 of those have come after 2 are out.
Ooh, that many?
Yeah, that's a lot.
I knew it was a lot.
Last 2 nights especially. Here's Vargas with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Kenny Vargas 2 out of 8 in the series. He has walked 5 times though in the first 3 games.
He's bat cleanup on all 4 of these games here today. Spent the majority of the season in Double-A in New Britain.
That is popped up foul. Ron Gardenhire has run out the same lineup in all 3 of the last nights here against the Tigers, with the exception of Josmiel Pinto. He's in there today. Pinto was to catch last night, but was pulled because of an illness. It'll be an interesting offseason for Ron Gardenhire. We talked about this a little bit last night, whether or not he'll be returning. And the hope is yes. Here's a foul at home plate. Couldn't hold on to it.
And Ron Gardenhire is under contract for next year. And so should they want to change at the managerial position, he would still get paid.
No balls, 2 strikes on Kenny Vargas. Tigers win here today. They celebrate the division championship. If they lose, they will have to wait to see what happens with KC Chicago. And the 0-2 outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And David Price really has only gone inside with 1 fastball aggressively. That was to the leadoff hitter, Danny Santana, in a no balls 2 strike count.
Now the 1-2. Driven toward left. Straight at JD. And that is that for Minnesota in the first. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the first. Now scoreless ball game as we go to the bottom of the first here at Comerica Park. Tigers starting lineup tonight presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Kinsler, Hunter, Cabrera. Top three spots. Victor Martinez leads the team in average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage this homestand. He's been red hot. J.D. Martinez at left. Avila is catching. You've got Castellanos, Romine, and Ezekiel Carrera filling in center field and batting ninth. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of Kyle Gibson.
And Kyle Gibson, tall, lanky right-hander, really likes his fastball. He gets over the top, gets a lot of sink on his fastball. As a matter of fact, about 55% of his outs are recorded on the ground. He likes his slider against the right-handed batters. He likes his changeup against lefties.
So here is Kinsler to lead things off. Ian has not had a good series, 1 for 12, but it's kind of imperative, Rod, for the Tigers to get off to a nice start offensively in this game.
It'd be nice to see him get on base and see Torrey Hunter move him along and get the big boys up in the very first inning, and to see if they can take a lead here against Minnesota. They haven't had many against the Twinkies in a 3-game series.
And Gibson fires a strike on the outer edge, 0-1.
Or should I say the first 3 games of this 4-game series.
That's it for a strike. Quickly 0-2 on Kinsler, who disagrees with Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire. Kinsler, 99 runs scored this year. And he's also driven in 90. And Gibson ready with the 0-2. Missed it inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gibson is 26 years old, a native of Indiana, Greenfield, Indiana. Pitched his college ball in Mizzou. And he missed again, 2-2. Really calm, still day here today at the ballpark. Not much of a breeze, and as we mentioned, temperature in the 70s.
Great crowd, too, on hand this afternoon.
Pulled foul. That'll shoot back into the seats. Tigers wrapping up another year of terrific attendance this season. Comerica Park filled on most nights this summer. And again the 2-2. Bouncing ball slowly towards short. Santana. And Kinsler is out, 1 away.
Let's take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Herman, Hicks, Arcia in the outfield. Escobar, Santana, Dozier, Mauer in the infield. Kyle Gibson, we talked about the fact that he gets lots of ground balls. 22 double plays forced this season. 6th most in the American League for Kyle.
Here's Torrey Hunter now with 1 out. 288 for Torrey. And as Rod mentioned earlier, he really has played every single day this final month of the season down the stretch. And it's been a situation where Brad Ausmus has tried to find him some days to rest, but no rest for the weary here in September. The 0-1 is swung on and missed, 0-2.
And good breaking ball there thrown by Gibson. Looked like that was a curveball. Doesn't throw the curveball that often to the right-handers. He uses more sliders, but that was a good one there. And that had Torrey Hunter fooled and out in front.
Here's the 0-2. Torrey checked it. Did he go? Did not.
Yeah, very important for the Tigers' approach today against Gibson and really against all sinker ballers. You try to make the ball up in the strike zone and you don't try to pull it. If you do, you'll ground out if you're a right-hander to the left side of the infield all day. You want to allow the ball to travel and try to hit it the opposite way.
2-2 on Torrey. Gibson, a 13-game winner this year, has Cabrera lurking on deck.
He has played as well as anybody down the stretch in baseball. Miggy.
Gibson just missed there, and now he's gone full 3-2. 1 out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the first, no score. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. First strikeout of the ball game this afternoon for Gibson. Two gone now for Miguel Cabrera. 5 for 11 in the series. He's gone deep twice. Has 25 long balls this year. Will not get to 30, which has pretty much been a plateau that he's reached quite a bit in his career. Won't get there this season unless he hits 5 of them today. And Miggy pops that one up. Left side of the infield. Escobar, the third baseman, and a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Gibson. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Marie Callender's Dinners, food to savor. A sun-splashed crowd here this afternoon at Comerica. No score as we go to the top of the second. Critical game number 162 for these two teams. More critical, obviously, for the Tigers. As David Price goes back to the hill. Josmil Pinto will lead things off. Pinto, Arcia, Escobar. Ball one from David Price. Pinto was in the starting lineup last night, was scratched after the top of the first inning with an illness. He's back in there today. And Price hits the outside corner, 1-1.
If I'm Pinto, I might have been sick today against Price, not last night against Lobstein.
He picked the wrong night.
No disrespect to Lobstein, but I might have been sick today.
You know what, Skip? My stomach's still bugging me just a little bit. I'll sit this one out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Bouncing ball foul. 1-2 now on Pinto. David Price, 8 2/3 in his last start. You'll recall that one as Price went out for the 9th inning. Chicago scored 3 runs to tie it before the Tigers won it in walk-off fashion. Here's the 1-2. Backed him out of there, 2-2.
I like the fact that he's going inside with that four-seam fastball, but I'd like to see him go inside on the plate on occasion. You don't always have to knock the guys off the plate, not when you have 95 in your back pocket like Price does.
Here's the 2-2. Got him, strike 3 on the outer edge. Inside, then outside, and that's the second strikeout for David. Here are our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I'm going to go with Ian Kinsler in this one.
David Price would be my pick this afternoon.
I see what you're doing there.
Right.
Victor Martinez, the selection of Justin White. going with the big horse today, and he's off to a nice start. Oswaldo Arcia stepping in now. They've got the shift on defensively for him. And it's a strike called 0-1.
Here's the last two pitches to Pinto. The one pitch, he goes off the plate inside to get him thinking about that. And then he goes back outside with a nice cutter. He starts it off the plate. It ends up in Avila's glove, and Pinto cannot pull the bat off his shoulder. Price has given up a lot of hits this year for the skill set that he has. He's given up a lot of homers. But if he continues to do that by going inside, then going back outside, it will make his life so much easier.
See the count on Price, 25 so far in this game. Here's the 1-1. Popped up, back out of play. Oswaldo Arcia, 5 for 13 in the series. He's gone deep, which is something he's done 20 times this year. There's the shift the Tigers employ defensively. There's Nick Castellanos in short right field, so the left side of the infield is open. And Price missed outside. 2-2 on Arcia. Waiting on deck, Escobar, who had a big night in last night's ball game. Most of the Twins did.
He drove in 6 though last night, didn't he?
Yeah, he had the biggest night out of that 7 spot. 6 ribbies. Back up the middle, Kinsler on the move. Arcia is out 2 away. Well, every game counts, and deposits are now being taken for postseason luxury suite packages. All packages include a credit to be used toward a 2015 suite package. Call 313-471-2222. If you'd like more information, take advantage of the postseason luxury suites.
Aren't tickets for game 163 on sale as well tomorrow, just in case we might need that game?
Just in case. Indeed. 866-66-TIGER. A possible game 163 tomorrow. So those tickets are on sale right now at the Comerica Park box office. Or again, call that phone number, 866-66-TIGER. 1 strike on Escobar with 2 outs. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Kinsler cruising over. Ian is there. David Price, an easy 1-2-3 second.
select Comerica Park. We don't know when, we don't know where, and we don't know who the Tigers will open the postseason against. Here's what we do know. We've got you covered. For complete post-game coverage after every Tigers playoff game, make sure you stick with us right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Tigers Live after every postseason game from the Coliseum Studios. We've also got you covered after every home game from Hockeytown Cafe. Tigers Live postseason edition after every single playoff game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. Mario and Rod, back to you.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. We look forward to our postseason coverage as we do every year. And Victor Martinez standing in as we go to the bottom of the second. First pitch has rolled to first base, and it's straight at Joe Mauer. One pitch, one out. 4 in a row retired now by Kyle Gibson.
Victor Martinez came in batting a whopping .337. Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros came in at .340. Both are 0 for 1 so far today.
Altuve was not going to start originally in that game today, but apparently a decision has been made to let him play. So he is, as you mentioned, 0 for 1.
Well, good for him and the Houston Astros.
Here is J.D. Martinez. They are playing J.D. to pull. On the infield, at least.
Most of his damage on the ground and on the line has been to left field. He does have some power to drive the ball in the seats to right field, but the data that the Minnesota Twins have compiled tells him that J.D. Martinez hits into the way that they're defending their infielders.
That slides outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez.
It's been a great year for J.D. Martinez. 315, 23 homers. 76 runs driven in. Started the season in the minor leagues.
Swing and a miss.
I've already noticed that Gibson throwing a lot more breaking balls here today against Tigers hitters than he really has in any of his other starts. Maybe he's taking a page out of Ricky Nolasco's book. Nolasco doesn't have the same kind of sink on his fastball as Gibson, but he threw a lot of slow breaking balls yesterday, and the Tigers were fooled and baffled on most of them.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss.
Oh, my goodness.
Where was that pitch?
That's that sinker, and you get an idea of kind of the late life that Gibson has on that pitch. That ball nearly hit J.D. Martinez. Look at the life on this thing.
Tied him up. Second strikeout for Gibson.
Actually, after getting a second look at it, it looks like it may have been a slider that backed up on him.
Here's Alex Avila. One hit of the series for Alex. Gibson had a season-high 8 strikeouts in his last start. It was a win over Arizona in 7 innings of work. And he's recorded a couple already in this game. Avila takes ball 1. Alex missed a stretch of games in September after taking a hard tag to the face and suffering concussion-like symptoms yet again. And the Tigers certainly hopeful that he'll be able to remain healthy the entire postseason. Quickly is out is a Pinto off the mound at that last pitch. Gibson is 26 years old. This is his 31st start of the year and his final start of the season, obviously. Here's the 1-1. It'll get back out of play. 1-2 now on Avila. Waiting on deck, Nick Castellanos. Avila normally hits behind Castellanos, but Brad's flip-flopping him today. Ball low, and before the game, Ausmus cited the history between these two is the reason why Avila's been bumped up once, or one spot in the lineup, and that's the fact that Alex is 3 for 7 versus Gibson. Small sampling, yes, but he's moved him up nonetheless.
Any advantage you can gain, you may as well take it.
Low and in. 3-2. Tigers in search of their first base runner of the game. 5 up, 5 down so far against Gibson. We'll get back into the seats quickly. Avila this year has hit 11 home runs. Alex taking his time getting back in the box. Gibson waiting patiently. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second. 2 outs, nobody on. And he walked him. There's your first Tigers base runner of the game. Avila will take his walks, and he's got another. 2 out base runner. And we'll see what Castellanos can do now. Nick got the Tigers off and running in the ballgame last night with the second inning home run. It was a solo shot.
Nick drove in all the Tigers runs in last night's game. They scored 3. He drove in all 3.
Aside for the home run, he knocked one in with a ground ball and then with a sacrifice fly as well. Strike called to the inside part of the plate. 0-1.
Kyle Gibson has already gone aggressively inside to a lot of the Tigers' right-handed batters with that sinker at about 90 to 91.
Here's the 0-1. Hit sharply to the shortstop. Nice backhanded pick by Santana. And he'll get the force at second base to retire the side. No runs and a walk. 1 man left. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire.
We're in the driver's seat, and that's what you want in October or September. You want to be able to control your own destiny, and that's the position we're in right now. We've handled that extremely well over the past couple of weeks, and we've put ourselves in a pretty good position.
Well, they do handle their own destiny. That is for certain. The Tigers win today, and they will win the Central Division. If they lose today, they'll need Chicago to beat Kansas City to win the Central. But another big crowd hoping that there will be some celebrating on the field after this one is completed today. David Price doing his part so far. He'll go back to work here in the third, facing Herman, Hicks, and then Santana. Herman looks at a strike, 0-1. Only a single by Joe Mauer back in the first inning. The only hit given up by Price so far today. Got him 1-2-3 in the second. 4 hits in the series for Herman, who's played in every game. Swing and a miss, and he's down 0-2.
Yeah, Herman getting a really nice long look in the month of September. He's even gotten starts against the last 2 left-handers the Tigers have thrown at the Minnesota Twins. That would be Lobstein, and today David Price.
And the 0-2. Line toward left, foul.
And David Price has that look out on the mound today as if he's going to finish this one. He's not going to need any help from his bullpen as long as the Tigers get him a lead. He's thrown 33 pitches, and 26 of those have hit the strike zone, so the command is on point so far this afternoon.
Another foul back out of play. The fact remains, though, this Twins team has just been awfully good in terms of fouling off 2-strike pitches, keeping at bats alive. It's kind of something they've done all year. They see about 4 pitches per plate appearance, and that is the second highest total in the major leagues. Only Boston sees more pitches per plate appearance. And again, the 0-2. Bouncing ball right side. Kinsler ranging left. 1 gone. Well, fans, it is time for Red Wings hockey. For your chance to win a Red Wings 10-game mini plan this season, make sure you enter at foxsportsdetroit.com. Your chance to win a 10-game plan for the Red Wings. 1 gone now for Hicks. Hicks, a switch hitter, batting right-handed, looks at a ball. 1-0. 18 RBIs at the major league level for Aaron Hicks. Much of the season down in the minor leagues this year. Price with the 1-0 pitch. Lifted back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Terry Ryan, the general manager of the Twins, has made the trip here to Detroit. He's watched his club really put up some big numbers down the stretch, and I would think at least he's pleased with the way they're finishing the season out, despite the fact that they will not be in postseason. They won their 70th game of the season last night. Swing and a miss. Ball was up the letters.
A good four-seam fastball there thrown by Price at 94 miles an hour. And Hicks couldn't catch up to it.
Price with 2 strikeouts is eyeing number 3 here. And he missed outside.
Aaron Hicks still deciding on whether he wants to play winter ball or not in the offseason. His organization has encouraged him to do so, but he has not made the decision definitively whether he wants to or not. It would only help him going into 2015.
I'm going to say, is there much downside to it? There's strike 3 on Hicks. So 3rd strikeout of the game for Price.
Here's the cut fastball that David Price has mastered the last number of years. He starts the ball off the plate, and the cutting action on the pitch allows it to get to the corner where the glove of Avila has been waiting all afternoon.
So with 2 outs, here is Santana, and there's the breakdown. And Brad talked about this. I mean, it's basically been nothing but strikes from Price.
That's what you really have to do against this pesky team. You talked about Minnesota and all the pitches that they foul off. So you just have to continue to pound that strike zone as he's doing and hope you can get yourself some easier outs as the game progresses.
Wave and a miss. Santana left the strike zone there, and he's down to the count 0-2. Price very slowly and methodically just knifing his way through this Twins lineup. He struck Santana out in the first, and he's gone ahead 0-2 here. Line drive just out of the reach of a diving Ian Kinsler. It'll be a 2-out single for Santana. Second hit of the game now for Minnesota.
And David not very happy with himself. He was able to get ahead of Santana. No balls and 2 strikes before giving up the base hit. A really nice piece of hitting by the youngster Danny.
Twins have the only 2 hits of this ball game so far. That'll bring up Brian Dozier. He popped up his first time to the second baseman Kinsler in foul ground. And it's outside 1-0. We mentioned that Dozier is the 2020 guy this year. The last Twin to go 2020 was Torrey Hunter, and that was back in the 2004 campaign. At least 20 homers, 20 steals. Torrey wearing the old English D these days. Now the 1-0.
And David Price has put himself in some special company regarding left-handed starting pitchers. And single season strikeout numbers since the beginning of the 2004 season. Only Randy Johnson has compiled more. And the big unit back in 2004 punched out 290. And David Price right now sits at 266. Kershaw, Sabathia, Johan Santana also on the list.
Yeah, but none of them had the sweet hairdo that Randy Johnson had.
You like that mullet?
Oh, it was awesome. Pure Randy.
I wouldn't be shocked if the mullet at some point in time made a comeback. You know, all that stuff all goes around and around.
That ship has sailed for me, that's for sure. Runner goes, throw down to second is not in time. Stolen base.
Number 20 for Santana this year. He's had a marvelous rookie campaign. A lot of hits, very high batting average, lots of steals. He's played out of position center field basically all year. Gets an outstanding jump and got that left hand in there right before the tag was applied by Ian.
Runner in scoring position now for Minnesota. 20th steal in 24 tries for Santana. 2-1 is hit for a strike. 2-2 now on Brian Dozier.
Yeah, another one of those cut fastballs. He's got outstanding action on that pitch today.
Joe Mauer on deck. With 2 outs, a single by Santana on an 0-2 pitch. Now he has swiped second. Dozier's had a nice series, 5 RBIs, trying to cash him in. Here's the 2-2. Not going to happen. Swing and a miss to strike him out. David Price, his 4th punch out of the game. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. On our way to the bottom of the third, the Tigers in search of their first hit as Andrew Romine leads it off for Detroit. Scoreless game, packed house. Tigers hoping to win the division today. The final day of 2014.
A nice night for Romine last night. He had a couple of singles, one left-handed, one right-handed.
Also back up the middle. Santana gobbles this one away.
That's what Gibson throws a lot of. 55% of his outs recorded are ground balls. He's got a heavy single. Here's the AL leaders in ground ball percentage. Kyle Gibson shows up on that list along with Dallas Keuchel, Felix Hernandez, Sonny Gray, and Hisashi Iwakuma. I didn't know Felix Hernandez threw that many ground balls.
He didn't come to mind, definitely, to be on that list.
Strikeout guy.
How about Seattle, man? Their clutch win last night, and somehow, some way, they're still alive.
This has a possibility of shaping up the way the game 162 shaped up back in 2011, when several teams, have a chance of either winning the division or going in as a wild card, or Seattle overtaking Oakland if they win and Oakland loses in a wild card game. It has a chance to be crazy today.
Can you imagine if Oakland doesn't make it?
Oh my goodness.
What a colossal collapse that would have been, or would be. Carrera swings and misses 1 and 2.
Good changeup there thrown by Gibson. He doesn't throw many changeups to the right-handers, nor does he need it. But he features that pitch quite often to the left-handed batters.
Ezekiel getting a start for Rajai Davis today. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Carrera's out, 2 gone. Third strikeoout for Gibson, and here's what you alluded to, and everything's still undecided here in the final day.
Well, I think many fans know what's at stake here between the Tigers and Kansas City. Tigers win, they win the division, but if Minnesota beats the Tigers and Kansas City wins, then we have to play another game, and that kind of scenario places itself in the National League Central with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. They're still playing for division even though both teams are in, and we've talked about the A's and Seattle.
Pretty wacky final day, that's for sure, and potentially an even wackier Monday. Kinsler steps in there now. Ian bounced out his first time up. All time here for the Tigers to get a hit. They've had only one base runner, a walk. Here's the 0-1. Driven high and deep to left. Way back. Track. Wall. Out of here. Gone. Kinsler has given the Tigers a 1-0 lead.
Kinsler gave you more than a hit. He gave you a big fly.
And it's his 17th of the year. And the crowd is on its feet. Boy, that's big. Get the crowd into this game, get the Tigers a little offense.
He flipped the breaking ball up there, and Ian Kinsler caught it just right with that uppercut swing, lofting it into the Tigers bullpen for the first run of the game.
One ball, no strikes on Torrey Hunter. So the Tigers, like they did last night, take an early 1-0 lead on a home run. This time from Ian Kinsler. Ball outside, 2-0 the count. Well, with that uppercut swing he has, man, when he catches it, he can launch it.
Yes, he can. He's hit a lot of big league homers, Ian Kinsler.
And that also will give him 100 runs scored this year. Now the 2-0. Bouncing ball foul.
Here's one look at the Ian Kinsler home run ball in Phantom Cam.
Barreled that up beautiful. 3-1 meanwhile now on Torrey Hunter. Good to see Rajai smiling. That's grounded foul. 3-2. Kinsler's home run gives him 91 RBIs on the year. It's already established a career high in hits. Now Gibson ready with the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Torrey Hunter for the second time in this game. However, Kinsler has gone deep, and the Tigers have the lead. Number 17 for Ian. 1-0 Detroit. Have the lead now 1-0 as we go to the fourth inning on the Ian Kinsler home run. Their first hit of the game as well. Time now for the Bernstein advantage, and it belongs to David Price as Joe Mauer stands in. Mauer has had very little success against Price over the years. Only a 190 batting average. And so Mauer will stand in now here in the fourth inning, followed by Vargas and then Pinto. The Tigers have struck first in this game. Yeah, Price goes back to work. David 4 strikeouts. Throws strike 1 to Mauer.
And David Price so far 8 of 12 in first pitch strikes. And that's allowed him to expand the strike zone. He's gotten himself 4 strikeouts in the contest as well.
Oh, 2. That'll be an even 50 now for David. The majority of which have been strikes. Mauer waiting on the 0-2. But outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This has been David Price's time of the year. In his career, his ERA in the month of September is 3.14. The month where typically the long season starts to catch up with not only pitchers but position players. The amount of games start to pile up, but Price has been at his best. Rolled foul. One thing we do know about the Tigers, Rod, going into the postseason this year, man, they're going to have to be sharp because, you know, they didn't clinch early, obviously. They haven't been sitting around, and they've been playing some really meaningful games here down to the final wire.
You would hope that that would help them once they do get to tomorrow, and regardless of when they play again. They won't have a lengthy layoff.
The 1-2. Now, the flip side of that is obviously managers love to be able to have that time to set up their rotations. If they clinch early, they can rest some guys that might be nicked up. But the Tigers have had to go full bore down to the final game of the year. Two and two on Mauer. Just off the plate. Count full now. 3-2.
It's a nice luxury, though, if you're Brad Ausmussen. You've got three aces like a Verlander and a Scherzer and a David Price. Chances are that even if you have to use David today, as you are on the final day of the season, you still got Max ready to go. You still have Verlander ready to go. There are a few teams in the playoffs that don't boast that kind of a starting staff.
That's a good point. That's driven toward left field. Martinez started in. Now he's back. Bauer is out, one away. Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to, Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tigers do have that advantage of not feeling queasy about anybody they would throw out in a game one. They've got enough talent in their starting rotation to feel comfortable with quite a few guys. Vargas is 0 for 1. He lined out to left his first time up. Rolled foul, third base side.
And Vargas has got one thing on his mind when he steps in that batter's box, and that's leave earth. 9 homers already here in the big leagues this year. He doesn't walk very often. He's only walked 11 times. He's up there swinging.
Which makes his 5 walks in this series a little bit odd. There was a big swing in the middle.
Yeah, 5 of the 11.
One of those was intentional, but still.
It's another 0-2 count for Price. He's had a lot of 0-2 counts already here this afternoon against Twins batters.
One ball, 2 strikes on Kenny Vargas. Who burst onto the scene this year up from Double-A, was the cleanup hitter in the Futures game this year.
Now batting cleanup in the big leagues.
Amazing. The 1-2. Whistled foul.
A tale of 2 different stories. Kenny Vargas, really good year in Double-A. Comes to the big leagues, able to get his feet wet the last 2 months. The Tigers, Jose Mota.
Stephen Moya.
Stephen Moya. I don't know why I get his name tied up. I've been doing that all year.
Moya.
Stephen Moya. He had 105 ribbies and 35 home runs, but yet because the Tigers team is so good,
right,
he can't get off the bench.
Yeah, no opportunity here, especially down the stretch of a pennant race. Maybe a pinch hit or two as much as what Moya has gotten, and then in the meantime you see Vargas getting at bats, 4 of them every game. But you gotta love Moya's future.
Oh, for sure.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a check swing on a pitch low. 3-2 now. So Vargas has worked the count full. Osmeal Pinto waiting on deck. Price ready with the 3-2. Here it is. He lost him, man. He had him 0-2, and Price upset with himself there. Ball 4.
Another base on balls in the series for Vargas.
That was close. But as Mr. Foxtrack says, a little bit in tight. Good call by Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire. Here's Pinto now. And Price missed again, 1-0. Pinto came up last September, hit some home runs, was knocking in some runs, and many thought this might be the year that he would blossom into a big league catcher, but the Twins signed Kurt Suzuki. And that sent Pinto pretty much back to the minor leagues. Here's the 1-0. Line drive to right, base hit. Vargas on his way to second, and the Twins now have first and second, one out.
It's a pretty good swing there by Pinto, driving that ball past Ian Kinsler on the right side of the infield.
Third hit of the game now for the Twins. After the Tigers took a 1-0 lead on the home run by Kinsler with 2 outs in the third. Here is Arcia. And Price starts him off with a strike. Twins the last 2 nights double digits in hits. They had 15 2 nights ago. They had 16 last night. The Price so far here today has quieted them down. The 0-1 lifted back out of play.
There's now 7 0-2 counts already in the game, and for David Price, but yet he's thrown a total of 66 pitches. That just doesn't equate. Able to get ahead, no balls, 2 strikes, but yet it's going to be, I mean, Minnesota's getting that pitch count up.
Which is exactly what they've wanted to do. Price, of course, wants to go as deep as he can in this game. Pitching into the 9th in his last start. Ball high, 1-2.
And you'd have to think that all things being equal, if he's not getting hit around, Brad Ausmus is going to allow him to go as long as this game as David Price wants to go.
Tigers do have the shift on for the lefty Arcia. Not quite as dramatic as it has been with 2 runners on here. Still want to be able to turn to double play. Swing and a miss. Not going to need it here as Arcia goes down swinging. It'll be the 5th strikeout now for David Price. 2 gone.
And Price not a good matchup for Arcia. That forcing fastball right by him. The ball was in the glove of Avila. And basically at the same time that Arcia started his swing.
Two-out chance now for Escobar. Way outside, 1-0. Price in his season this year has 11 games of 10 or more strikeouts. He's halfway there right now with a total of 5. Trying to pitch around a couple of base runners here in the 4th, leading 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Eduardo Escobar. Boy, David now at 70. Escobar raising his RBI total from 31 to 37 in just 1 performance with 6 RBIs last night. Fouled straight back, 1-2. And now Price 1 pitch away from shutting down this 4th inning.
And David Price can go a number of ways. He can go with another fastball in the mid to upper 90s. He's got that straight change. It's been a really good pitch. Or he could start that cutter off the plate and backdoor Escobar with that pitch. It's lovely to have as many weapons as David Price has.
One ball, 2 strikes. Now Escobar will step out. Tigers lead 1-0 on the home run by Kinsler. Twins threaten here in the 4th. And the 1-2. Ball high, would not chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Should Escobar reach? Herman waiting on deck. He's the number 8 hitter. Now the 2-2. Bouncing ball to second. Kinsler down to a knee. Shovel for the force. Side retired. Threat is over. No runs. A hit, a walk. 2 men left. 1-0 Detroit. Ballpark. And the Tigers will have 3, 4, and 5 coming up. And speaking of 3, 4, and 5, this is what they've been able to do this month.
They've pretty much carried the Tigers down the stretch. Miguel with a .394 average. Victor not far behind that. And J.D. Martinez, he checks in with .355.
So we'll see Miguel Cabrera start things off here in the 4th inning. Cabrera popped up his first time 0 for 1. He is trailing Mike Trout by just 2 for the most RBIs in the American League. He's gotten back into that race because of that huge month of September we talked about. Gibson goes back to work in the bottom of the 4th, and he throws a strike. 0-1. .394 in September. 18 RBIs. Swing and a miss, and he's down to the count 0-2. Gibson, despite the home run by Kinsler, has done really good work in this game. That's the only hit he's given up. And he's got Miggy down 0-2, and he strikes him out. Boy, his stuff's got some movement today. That'll be his 5th punch out of the contest.
He's going to be a nice piece of that rotation next year to go along with Phil Hughes. Gets to a really nice balance point as far as that lead leg is concerned, which allows the arm to catch up, and then he's just gotten some natural sink. And down and in to most of these right-handed batters.
Here is Victor Martinez. We mentioned Jose Altuve did actually start his game today for the Astros, was 1 for 2, then they pulled him out of the game. As he zeroes in on a batting title over Victor. Martinez bounced out in the 2nd, 0 for 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. way outside. Some teams like to play Victor to pull with 3 defenders to the right of second base. Twins, it's about as straight up as he gets against Victor. And, they've got the shortstop shaded towards second, but you'll normally see that player positioned around second base. The 1-1 is outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gibson ready with a 2-1. Here it is. And Victor sends a ground ball right side of the infield. Mauer with the backhand will feed Gibson for the second out. And that'll make Victor Martinez 0 for 2. We'll bring up JD Martinez now. So it's appearing like Victor will finish second in the batting title chase. Regardless, MVP votes will be coming his way. Now JD with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Martinez, who right now has 21 more RBIs than his previous season high of a couple of years ago when he had 55. He'll drive that one to left center field, base hit. JD taking a turn, trying for 2. Now he's going to put on the brakes. He's caught between first and second, and he is out at first base. He came to a skidding stop between first and second base. It'll be a single, and he's thrown out on the play to end the 4th.
Into the outfield, but then once he gets to first base, he rounds it aggressively, and then he gets out there and slips. And the center fielder Hicks gets over there, gets the ball back to Santana. Santana didn't know immediately whether he was going or not. He fell down as well, but he was still able to throw to first base and to get JD Martinez out. And JD just simply got caught running with his head down there, and before he picked up Hicks, the center fielder, able to cut that ball off. It was too late for him to get back to first base.
So the Tigers now bring a 1-0 lead into the 5th. It'll be Chris Herman to start things off. The Tigers have had only 2 hits against Gibson today, and fortunately one of them left the ballpark. They lead 1-0. There's a ground ball to the right side, fielded there by Kinsler. 1 pitch, 1 out.
He's been busy tonight, Ian Kinsler.
Time for a game break now. Let's head back to the studio. Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. We are big White Sox fans today.
That's right.
Here's Aaron Hicks now with 1 out. Good to see Price get a 1-pitch out here. Hicks shows bunt, ball 1. Price has had 10 at bats of at least 5 pitches or more in this game. That's how well the Twins have worked him, yet he's kept them off the board. Pitch count now at 75. It'll bounce in 2-0. Five strikeouts for David in the game. Drilled toward left field. Martinez on the run. Can't get it over his head. That'll bounce up against the wall, and that's going to be a 2-base hit for Aaron Hicks. Tying run now in scoring position. Four hits now for Minnesota. Here's Danny Santana. It'll be the first extra base hit of this game for the Twins today. Back out of play, 0-1. Single strikeout for Santana plus a steal in this contest. Twins yesterday were an amazing 9 of 18 with runners in scoring position. Man, when they had a chance, they took advantage of their chances yesterday.
A lot of hits with 2 outs as well yesterday for the Minnesota Twins.
Price ready with the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Big strikeout. 2 gone. 6 punch outs in the game now for Price. Hey, tickets for potential American League Division Series games are on sale now. Guaranteed tickets for all potential Tigers postseason games by placing a 2015 season ticket deposit. Visit Tigers.com for more details.
And this will help out the pitch count. And David Price able to put Santana away with a really good breaking ball that was located down and in.
So Price has now equaled Corey Kluber for the strikeout lead in the American League at 269. Swing and a miss. Dozier chasing 0-1. Twins yesterday, of their 16 hits, 14 of them were singles. Price taking an extra long time, and now finally Avila is going to walk out to the mound. We want to make sure this runner at second base does not have a chance to score here. The Tigers nursing a slim 1-0 lead. Dozier's strikeout pop-up. 5 RBIs in the series. Couple of homers. Fouled away. Oh, 0-2 on Brian Dozier. Joe Mauer would be next. The preference is to take care of Dozier here. Now the crowd trying to help out Price. And the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And this last fastball awfully close.
Here's the 1-2. Fly ball, center field, should get him out of the inning. Carrera is under it, and that is that for the Twins. No runs, a double, 1 man left. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It is brought to you by AT DET. Hashtag DetroitFanPhoto. Well, the Tigers trying to add their lead. It's only 1 right now. The home run by Kinsler so far is held up because David Price has kept the Minnesota Twins off the board through 5. Alex Avila leads it off, and Nick Castellanos and Andrew Romine. Gibson's been good as well. He has surrendered just 2 Tigers hits. And Avila skies one in the air to deep center field. Hicks going back, still going back. Warning track to make the catch. A 400-foot out for Avila. 1 away. Even 50 now for Kyle Gibson. His pitch count has been in much better shape than Price's has been today.
You know, we've well documented the fact that the Minnesota bats have been very good the last couple of days against Tigers pitching, but the Tigers hitters, they really have done very little. And with Minnesota's pitching overall.
That's a good point. I mean, even the game that the Tigers won, which was the first game of the series, it was a 2-run game. They won that one 4-2. There's a ball low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Anibal Sanchez warming up in the Detroit bullpen.
And Sanchez needs a lot of time to get loose down there. That's why he's up throwing. And David Price, he's got 40 more pitches to go, possibly.
Castellanos 303 this year against the Minnesota pitching staff. Couple of home runs. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Nick. Here's the 2-2 offering. Low, 3-2. Romine lurking on deck. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss.
Gibson deal.
6 strikeouts. Well, the Detroit Tigers fantasy camp is on sale now. Play baseball with Tigers greats in Lakeland, Florida. This year's camp includes a salute to Jack Morris. For more information, call 313-471-2550 or visit Tigers.com. Check out the Tigers fantasy camp.
It's always a fun time. You can always catch up with former Tigers greats. And a lot of Tigers fans, boy, they get a lot of people at their fantasy camps.
In the shallow center, but a running play by Aaron Hicks. In a 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Gibson, who's looked extremely strong here today. So we go to the 6th. David Price is headed back to the mound. He's pitching a shutout so far. See if he can keep it going.
Let's take a peek at our barrel tire pitch by pitch. David Price, for the most part, has been able to keep the Minnesota Twins off the board, something that the last couple of starters have not been able to do. He's gotten 6 strikeouts in the game with a mixture of really good fastballs, cutters, and also 4-seamers. An occasional breaking ball at the bottom of the strike zone. You knew David Price was going to be out there for a while this afternoon. This is exactly why they acquired him, for games like these.
And you see the strikeout leaders now. Price is pulled even with Corey Kluber at 269. Scherzer on that list. And here's Joe Mauer here in the 6th inning. 1-0 Tigers and the home run by Kinsler. There's been a great pitching battle between Gibson and Price. The one big difference is Price has needed quite a few more pitches. Joe Mauer with a single in this game. He's 1 for 2. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Kinsler, man, again showing that range. He'll throw him out.
That was a little tougher play than it looked like it was going to be at the last moment. He had to take the short hop, but he didn't miss a beat. Able to pick it backhand and then flip it over to Miguel Cabrera to get the out. And with Mauer running. Great concentration here by Ian Kinsler, watching the ball into the glove, then stopping on the dime, making the transfer while still moving. It's a nice play, especially in fan camp.
Kenny Vargas. Strike one. Another walk for Vargas in his last at bat, 6 in the series versus Tigers pitching. Price's 0-1 is a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos cuts it off. Throw is perfect. 2 gone. A couple of ground ball outs here in the 6th inning for David. I don't know, you just had the feeling, Rod, when you got to the ballpark today, this is just what Price was going to do. I mean, he was going to go out there and battle, do his best to keep him off the board.
Well, if you went into the clubhouse today, he had that look on his face, and that he was going to put his teammates on his back and he was going to carry them. He does need some offensive help for them, but you knew he was going to be stingy today.
Pinto, the batter. Whistle 1 foul back out of play.
This is a Minnesota Twins offense that has performed very well all season against Tigers pitching.
Twins all of last year scored 61 runs against the Tigers pitching. This year 119. One ball, 1 strike.
Here's what Minnesota's been able to do against the Tigers pitching staff and what they've been able to do against the rest of the league. The winning percentage is way up. The batting average 50 points higher. Nearly 2 runs a game more against Tigers pitching than the rest of the league. How do you equate that?
Don't know. Don't have the answer for that. Pinto held up apparently, and the count goes 3-1. I mean, they've pretty much doubled their output from last year against Tigers pitching. In a staff that is as vaunted as the one Detroit throws out there every night. It has not seemed to matter. 3-1. On the corner, 3-2. So Price about to throw his 95th pitch of this afternoon. Here's the 3-2. High, ball 4. 2 out, base on balls. Time for a game break now. Back to the studio, Mickey York. Boy, the Royals just continue to apply the pressure.
How about if we shoot the messenger?
Oh,
he said don't kill him.
Cold. Nick's just doing what he's told back at the studio.
That's right.
Just giving us the info, which right now at least the Tigers are winning here 1-0.
Mick knows that it's all in fun. We'll be sitting in the studio with Mick during the postseason.
Which will begin, well, we don't know. But we're hopeful the Tigers will just win this division. They'll start on Thursday in the ALDS against the Orioles. Tying run at first base now for Oswaldo Arcia. Here's the 0-1. It'll get back out of play 0-2.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch on the best fastball that Price has unleashed this afternoon. 95 miles an hour. He's touched 95 quite often today. Already 10 in no ball, 2 strike counts as well thrown by Price to the Minnesota batters.
Price has thrown as many as 120 in his start. That was with Tampa. It was back in June.
You'd have to believe that he's going to have to go up to 120 today as well.
Yep, no doubt. He's approaching 100. Escobar waiting on deck. He went around. Arcia strikes out. And Price has 7 for the game. He now leads the league in strikeouts, but more importantly, he's throwing a shutout here today at Comerica Park. Still 1-0 Detroit. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. And by Chevy. It's Chevy Truck Month, where great deals and great trucks come together at your Chevy dealer. Well, it is 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. David Price has put the Tigers on his back here today. 4-hit shutout so far. He's been backed up by a home run from Ian Kinsler. And that has been it. Meanwhile, back to the mound goes right-hander Kyle Gibson. There's a popped-up bunt from Carrera that goes foul. Carrera, Kinsler, and Hunter. Ezekiel struck out swinging back in the 3rd, 0 for 1. He bunts again. This time he keeps it fair. Gibson, quick release, and he throws him out.
Gibson looked like a shortstop coming off the mound on that play.
That is a great play.
You can't make a play any better than that if you're a starting pitcher or a relief pitcher. He came in and barehanded this ball with great concentration. He didn't take his eye off Carrera, and then he just flipped the ball underneath and accurately to Joe Mauer to get him by a couple steps. It's a great play.
When you get rid of a ball as quickly as that, sometimes you have to sacrifice the accuracy, but that ball was right on the target.
For a guy that tall standing on the mound to make that kind of an athletic play.
So here is Kinsler, whose home run back in the third was his 17th of the year, providing her only run today, and it's in there, a strike.
Now, a couple of times as a member of the Texas Rangers, Ian Kinsler hit more than 30 home runs and stole more than 30 bases on 2 occasions.
Bouncing ball to third, out of the reach of Escobar into left.
Ian Kinsler knew when he was traded to the Tigers he was not going to have those kind of home run numbers, but he did get himself in great shape in the offseason, dropping about 15 pounds, which has allowed him to play gold glove type second base. There's a sinker ball that's down that he just pounded into the ground, but he found a hole on the left side of the infield past the diving Escobar. Torrey's been leaving the strike zone quite often today against Gibson. He struck him out twice. And if you're thinking about a possible stolen base for Ian Kinsler, it's going to be difficult. That was a slide step by Gibson. He took very little time getting the ball to his catcher, Pinto. Which means if you're Kinsler, you've got to get a great lead and a big jump to steal the base successfully. Gibson, pretty good athlete. I just noticed that after the move, then after that play that he just made. Nice slide step.
First round pick back in 2009 out of a school that has produced quite a few big league pitchers, Missouri. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball back toward the mound. Gibson again, bare hands, and makes another terrific play.
Stop it, Gibson.
That time he had a touch more time, but still had to get rid of it quickly.
Well, Brad Osman knows exactly what we told you earlier today, that 55% of the outs by Gibson recorded are on the ground. So he put the runner in motion. He forced Hunter into swinging, but there was Gibson bouncing off the mound again to make an identical play that he was able to get Carrera on for the first out of the inning.
Gibson still has one more huge out to get here in the sixth, and it's Cabrera. 340 this year with runners in scoring position. Big run standing at second with 2 outs.
In games like these is where Miguel Cabrera has been able to put his team on his back since he's been in the Tigers uniform.
Oh, and 1 on Cabrera.
He talked about his numbers this year, 340 with runners in scoring position. 336, that's the damage that Miguel has done in the batting average category for the last 11 seasons.
Strikeout pop up in this game. Trying to extend the lead here with 2 outs. High fly ball deep into center field. Ball hit well. Hicks back track. Wall makes the catch.
Whoa, what a play by Aaron Hicks. Are you kidding me?
420 feet to dead center field. Hicks ran 1.5 miles to get there.
That's why they love him.
What a play by Hicks, who takes away an extra base hit and an RBI away from Cabrera, who can't believe it.
have to give Aaron Hicks, their center fielder, some credit for that. Miggy making a bid for a double with Ian Kinsler standing on second base, and Hicks ran a country mile to run down this fly ball off of the bat of Miguel Cabrera at the base of the 420 sign and then crashes into the wall. Tremendous play by their center fielder.
Saved a run as Hicks runs down an extra base hit from Cabrera. Still 1-0. Price goes back to the hill now. We're on our way to the 7th inning. And it's in there, a strike called on Eduardo Escobar.
He has just hit the century mark in pitches thrown here today. David Price. Yeah, but this is one of those games where if you're Brad Ausmus, you're probably thinking about throwing the pitch count out the window for David Price.
You pretty much have to, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, even though it's all hands on deck, they've got a lot of people in that bullpen today, but Max is not out there. Verlander is not out there, but everybody else is available. With the exception of, who did he say, Lobstein?
Lobstein, Max, and Verlander. The other two you mentioned. 0-2 the count. And Escobar drilled towards center field. Carrera's on the move. 1 out here in the 7th.
A lot of first pitch strikes today for David Price. As a matter of fact, the first 2 pitches he's been very good today. 11 0-2 counts so far for Price.
Joakim Soria now starting to heat up in the Detroit bullpen. Here is Chris Herman, couple of ground balls. Oh, and 1 on Herman. He's bounced out to the second baseman, Kinsler, twice. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Here comes Kinsler again, but it's going to be Romine this time, and he is out at first base.
Nice communication there between Kinsler and Romine. Kinsler was not going to be able to make this backhanded play that he's made so well all year long, so Romine simply calls him off, and the momentum of Romine allowed him to make this play a lot easier than Ian Kinsler, but you got to have that communication up the middle. Only 6 pitches thrown so far in this inning by Price. This is number 6 right there. That'll help you pitch count.
Which right now stands at 105. The 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hicks.
Outstanding change piece. He's had a really good one today. Some are straight changes, some kind of fade to the arm side. That one had a touch of fading action to it.
Swing and a miss.
You might as well just go ahead and extend the strike zone just a couple of inches further outside to see if you can get Hicks to chase another one.
Seven strikeouts for Price here this afternoon. Can he make it 8? Fouled away.
That's just a really good call by Avila trying to extend the strike zone, but Hicks able to foul off that 1-2 pitch. I don't know if David will do here because, I mean, you run some risk if you do go inside with a fastball against a guy like Hicks who has a little bit of power. You'd get strike 3 if you were able to thread the needle, but you don't want to make that mistake, so they're simply going to stay away with that cutter.
And he got him, strike 3. Hicks upset with a call. Down goes the helmet. Price has his 8th strikeout of the game. And the fans appreciating his effort here today. 1, 2, 3 go the Twins. Coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. Tigers holding on to a slim 1-0 lead thanks to Kinsler's 17th home run of the season, a solo shot in the 3rd. David Price now leads the American League in strikeouts with 271. And Kyle Gibson, well, despite that home run, he has pitched a really good ball game and has been pitch for pitch with David Price.
And his pitch count is in tremendous shape. He's only thrown 65. Majority of them have been strikes.
Here's what's at stake. The Tigers, if they win here today and hold on to this lead, they clinch. Lead KC by a game. The Royals are winning their contest as well this afternoon in Chicago. The Tigers trying to take advantage of their opportunity here. Just get it done. Well, as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. And there's our fan photo of the day. And we'll see if the Tigers can add to their lead now. As we go to the 7th, they will have Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and then Alex Avila. Victor, with his year this year, has certainly put himself among the candidates for the MVP award, which many feel right now is Mike Trout's to lose.
I think Trout probably was running away with that award at the beginning of August, but Victor Martinez, the way that he has played in the month of August and September, he's closed the gap. Miguel Cabrera's also put himself in the conversation with a couple of other guys.
Those were the numbers coming into play today. Victor has hit the ball on the ground twice in this one.
The Minnesota Twins have pretty much been able to keep Victor in check as far as not giving up big hits to Victor in this series. They've crowded him inside with a lot of fastballs and sliders, and they've jammed him quite often. 32 homers, 103 RBIs this season for the Tigers' designated hitter. And they continue to pound him inside.
Martinez, an incredible 57 multi-hit games this year, which has put him within range of the last month or so to win the batting title, which apparently is going to go to Altuve now. No balls, 2 strikes on Victor.
Only 67 total pitches thrown so far today by Gibson. 47 of those have been strikes.
way high. Victor was not going to offer it that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And 2 strikes, no problem for Victor Martinez. The best hitter in Major League Baseball this year with 2 strikes. And really, one of the best years hitting with 2 strikes since 1998. There's only a handful of guys on that list.
In the air, shallow left field on the charges. Herman, sliding play. Well, Victor is 0 for 3, 1 gone here in the 7th.
You could see the lips of Herman's moving, telling Santana, the shortstop, that he had that fly ball off the bat of Victor.
Single strikeout for JD. Bouncing ball left side. It'll get to the shortstop. Santana throws him out.
There's that cannon that Santana features. We've heard a lot about his skill set at the shortstop position. Shows off his arm right there.
Escobar almost got in his way.
Yeah, good concentration by Santana as Escobar was moving in front of him. Still able to make that play. No problem.
Here's Avila. Walking a fly ball for Alex. Ball 1. Only 7 hits in this game between the 2 clubs. 4 for the Twins, 3 for the Tigers. One of the Detroit hits, though, left the building. The home run by Kinsler, which is the difference as you look at the breakdown on Kyle Gibson.
Well, you knew there would be a lot of ground outs. He's already thrown 8 of those in this game. And if you weren't with us a couple of innings ago, we pointed out the fact that Gibson has been one of the better guys in the league at getting ground balls. About 55% of his outs have been ground balls coming into this game. So if you're an infielder, boy, you know when he's on the bump, you're going to be busy.
Now the 2-0.
Pinto is calling a marvelous game. He's not necessarily known for his defense or his game calling skills, but today he has been really good leading Gibson.
Job of Chamberlain warming up. Here's the 2-1. Chopper right back of the mound. Gibson pounces on that one for a 1-2-3 inning. Tigers go in order. That means we go to the 8th. Still 1-0. And what has been a day dominated by the starting pitching. And David Price has thrown 109 pitches in this game. He's gone 7, allowing 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. This is his 26th start with at least 7 innings this year. Don Kelly comes into the ball game now and play third base. So Price back to work. Here is Danny Santana. And it's in there, a strike. Try to keep Santana off the bases. He's 1 for 3, single and a steal.
Price 20 of 28 in first pitch strike, so he just continues to pound that strike zone. But really, he's done that all season.
Now it's 0-2.
You've said that a lot today. 0-2.
David came in with 14 victories, 14 and 12 overall.
Going fastball in.
Drilled to center field. Carrera. Oh my
goodness. Easy, Ezekiel.
1 out with a preview now is coming up on Tigers Live postgame. Here's Justin White.
Well, guys, the hope is we'll have a lot to celebrate on this postgame edition of Tigers Live. John Keating and myself will be handling interviews. Mickey York and Craig Monroe will be inside the Coliseum studios. Tigers Live right after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit, guys.
Thanks, Justin. My heart has now returned to its normal spot.
Right.
It was in my throat a moment ago. Here comes Brad Ausmus.
Well, you got Brian Dozier stepping in the batter's box. He has a lot of home runs this year. He has not made a decision yet.
He has now. That's going to be it for David Price. So Price, 112 pitches into this game, will give way to Jabba Chamberlain. Listen to this ovation for David.
Well, just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, and it is always brought to you by Miller Lite. Really the only mistake that Gibson made in the game. He hung a breaking ball to Ian Kinsler, and Kinsler played long ball for the 17th time of the year, also scoring his 100th run in his first season as a Tiger.
So David Price exits, and in a wall-side windows pitching change, it'll be Jabba Chamberlain.
And 59 strikeouts this year for Jabba, 24 base on balls. He's pitched in 68 games. The earned run average in the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks for Jabba here at Comerica Park is sub-1. So Jabba needs to make sure he protects this lead for David Price.
David Price, 7 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts. He retired 12 of the last 14 he faced.
He went 0-2 on 12 of the Minnesota Twins here today. Spectacular outing by the left-hander.
It is now up to the Tigers bullpen as Jabba Chamberlain takes over against Brian Dozier. Dozier is 0 for 3, pop-up, strikeout, flyout.
If you're Jabba Chamberlain, you have to keep Dozier in the ballpark. He has 23 homers. Most of those are to left field.
1 ball, no strikes on Dozier. That is in there for a strike, 1-1.
And Jabba has that fastball that will get up to 96, 97. Curveball and a slider. Heavy on the breaking balls all year this season for Chamberlain.
Foul ball.
And Jabba said today that it's been an absolute blessing being a Tiger this year. Didn't know in the offseason exactly where he was going to end up because he was a free agent. And the Tigers came a-calling. And Jabba says this has been one of the best years of his big league career.
Well, he has seemingly had so much fun this year with his teammates. He's been one of the guys in the locker room that has kept it loose. And really, Jabba, I'm sure, didn't know what role he would have on this team. And he seized the 8th inning early on. And has held on to it all year. And it's again back out of play. 1-2 on Dozier.
That's a good pitch. It's 95. It's away from Dozier. If he hits that, he might get a double into that gap in right center field. But I don't think he has the power to hit the ball over the right field wall. And they're going slider. Down and away.
Missed with it. And Dozier would not bite. 2-2. Tigers lead 1-0 on the Kinsler home run. That was hit way back in the 3rd. It's held up so far. Ground ball to short. Romine scoops it up. Dozier is out, 2 away. Fans don't forget to visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball at Tigers.com/shop for the largest online selection of authentic Major League Baseball postseason gear. Get what the players are wearing straight from the source, the Tiger Shop. Now Joe Mauer with 2 outs. Mauer looks at ball 1. That's in there, 1 ball, 1 strike. Chamberlain making his 69th appearance. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Jabba took a little bit off his curveball there to get a really good hitter out in front in Joe Mauer. 80-mile-per-hour baseball flipped up there by Jabba.
Now this packed house on their feet. Ground ball right side. Kinsler is there. And that's that for Minnesota. 1, 2, 3, 8th inning. Java comes out, gets the final 2 outs. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers lead 1-0. Members for the Tigers in the postseason, presented by Gordon Chevrolet. These guys are in no particular order, but the Tigers certainly, Ron, will be well armed in the postseason.
Yeah, a lot of guys with some experience in the postseason.
Don Kelly will start things off here in the 8th. And he's swinging in the first, and he pops it up. Shortstop Santana is there, 1 pitch, 1 out. Kyle Gibson has done all he can today to keep his team in this game and to give them a victory. His only blemish, the home run by Kinsler. We'll see if that's enough for the Tigers. Tigers box score, not a whole lot going on, but Kinsler, one of the key performers. 2 of the 3 Tigers hits. Here's Romine. Ball 1. Andrews 0 for 2 in this game today. That's in there, a strike. Romine, a strong September, has kept him in the lineup. In fact, he's going 32 consecutive errorless games, along with hitting over 300 this month. And that ball misses. Two and 1 on Romine. Herrera waiting on deck. Little chopper slowly foul down the first base line. 2-2. Twins will have Vargas, Pinto, and Arcia 4, 5, and 6 in their lineup when we get to the 9th. Two and 2 on Romine. Joe Nathan, meanwhile, warming up. Whistled back out of play. Romine 4 hits in this series, trying to get something started here. Tigers looking for insurance. Here's the 2-2. Low, 3-2. There's your walk. And the Tigers have a base runner now with 1 out. Well, tickets for potential American League Division Series games are on sale right now. Guaranteed tickets for all potential Tigers postseason games by placing a 2015 season ticket deposit. Visit Tigers.com if you'd like more information. Here is Carrera. Strikeout. And then it was thrown out on a great play by Gibson. He fielded his bunt his last time up. Ball 1.
Well, if you're Brad Ausmus and you want to force the issue and you want to try to score another run in this inning, you know that Gibson throws a lot of ground balls. And you may as well put Romine on the move and force Carrera into swinging. And Carrera may have tipped something to the Minnesota Twins in a dugout by looking at Dave Clark, the third base coach, that long while he was going through signs. That's why the throw over by Gibson.
Dave Clark running through the signs down the line at third base.
And Dave Clark's had a really nice year in that third base box. You haven't noticed him that much. That's a good thing.
Off the plate, 2-0 now on Ezequiel Carrera.
And the same situation applies if they want to stay out of the double play.
Here comes Rick Anderson, their pitching coach. So Gibson, whose pitch count has been in fabulous shape all day long, now has a man on with 1 out and a 2-0 count.
I think what Rick Anderson noticed on the first 2 pitches to Carrera, and that Gibson was really rushing his delivery because he's very much aware of the situation and Romine possibly taking off.
Java Chamberlain came on to get the final 2 outs after David Price was lifted following the first out of the 8th. Price magnificent today. He delivered once again. And the 2-0 runner goes. Ball high. Throw down to second. Is not in time. Wide of the bag. And a steal for Romine.
Apparently it was not a hit and run unless Carrera did not swing the bat. But a really good jump by Andrew Romine. Able to swipe another bag. He gets a great jump. He takes a peek in, which usually is a sign that a hit and run is on. Usually if there's no hit and run, that base runner never looks in toward home plate. But Romine took 3 or 4 steps and took a peek in at Carrera.
12 steals now for Romine. He is in scoring position. And the 3-0. Way outside. He lost in ball 4. Now Kinsler. 3 walks in the ballgame now for the right-hander Gibson.
Ian Kinsler responsible for the only run that's on the board today. It was a solo home run back in the 3rd.
And if he finds a gap here, he's going to knock in 2 more. Kinsler looks at ball one. Job at Chamberlain. Pumping up his teammates from the dugout. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball, base hit left field. Romine rounding third, gonna try and score him. The throw to the plate. Save! 2-0 Detroit. And this place has exploded.
Kinsler gets a sinker at the bottom of the zone, hits it between short and third. Dave Clark sending Romine home. Herman, the left fielder, has an outstanding arm, but Pinto, the catcher, could not come up with it. Very aggressive base running here by the Tigers, and aggressive coaching as well by Dave Clark.
Dave Clark was waving him around all the way.
Had to.
And he scores easily as Romine makes it 2-0. What a huge run, and the Tigers still in business. Second and third. And it's a wall side windows pitching change for the Twins. They'll be back. We're at the bottom of the 8th inning, and they're in decent shape here to just pile on as Lester Oliveros comes in.
Infield in for the Minnesota Twins.
Torrey goes after the first pitch and fouls it off.
T. Hunter's been getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches all afternoon long. Previous 3 at-bats against Kyle Gibson, their starter, who pitched a really good game today. A big hit here by Torrey Hunter, and this place will erupt.
Keep it outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Torrey. 2-0 Detroit. A win here for the Tigers seals the American League Central Division title on the final day of 2014.
Hunter being serenaded with Torrey chants.
Now the 1-1 up and in. 2-1 on Hunter.
If you're Torrey, if you want to do so, you can sit on one breaking ball here. If he throws you a fastball, you just take it. But you know how many off-speed pitches they've thrown you during the course of the game today. Oh, he got it.
2-2. Cabrera waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Drill to right field. Arcia's there. Runner tags. Catch is made. And another run will score. Sac fly. Big at bat for Torrey Hunter.
Very patient at bat for Torrey. He was not going to swing at another breaking ball that was out of the strike zone. He got the fastball up and hit it deep enough for the sac fly.
83rd RBI of the year for Torrey, and it's a huge one here in the 8th. 3-0 Detroit. Here's Cabrera. Miggy looks at ball 1 up and in. Kinsler, a huge day today for the Tigers. Homer, RBI single. Bouncing ball to short, fielded there by Santana. That'll do it for the Tigers, but they get 2 big insurance runs. And the Tigers are 3 outs away from winning the Central Division title as Joe Nathan comes in to pitch tonight.
Here's the call, Sam. Calls of the game. And Ian Kinsler stepped up here today big on a day where his team desperately needed him. Solo shot his first time up, got the Tigers on the board, and then he got a single between the shortstop and the third baseman to drive in Andrew Romine with the second run of this game. Monster day for Ian Kinsler. Monster year for Kinsler, as a matter of fact.
Well, the Tigers have 3 more outs to get, and then they can breathe a little bit easier. 3 outs away from the Central Division title, and it's going to be on the shoulders now of Joe Nathan with a 3-run lead.
And Joe Nathan looking for his 35th save of the year. Last 12 games right here at Comerica Park, he's converted all 7 of his chances. Outstanding afternoon pitched by David Price, who got the ball to Jabba and then to Joe Nathan.
Kenny Vargas, Osmiel Pinto, and Oswaldo Arcia, the 3 hitters that stand in the Tigers' way. And Joe Nathan ready to go to work as we head to the 9th. 3-0 Detroit. And it's in for strike 1. Each team with 4 hits today. The Tigers have made better use of theirs. Nathan, deep breath in the 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And first at bat of the afternoon for Kenny Vargas, the switch hitter. And from the left side, where he is a much better hitter. More power, a better average, better all-around hitter.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike on Kenny Vargas. 2 huge runs. The Tigers score in the bottom of the 8th to turn a 1-0 game into a 3-0 game. Now the 2-1. Lifted back out of play. 2-2 on Vargas. .311 left-handed, .233 right-handed for Vargas. 8 homers from the left side as well. Tigers pitching has limited this Twins offense, which was on fire the last 2 nights, to just 4 hits today.
And David Price had a lot to do with that.
Ooh. 3-2 on Vargas. Now Nathan ready with the full count pitch. Little pop up, foul, back out of play. Joe Nathan a chance to nail down the division championship against a team that he spent so many years with, the Minnesota Twins. And compile the majority of his saves. Swing and a foul tip just out of the glove of Avila.
If the Tigers are able to capture another American League Central crown, it'll be the 2nd consecutive year the Minnesota Twins have had to watch it.
That's right. Last year in Target. This year here at Comerica. Suzuki has moved to the on-deck circle. And again, the 3-2 from Nathan. Popped up. Shallow center. Romine back. Says everybody get away. 1 gone. 2 outs to go. So Suzuki now for Josmil Pinto. Ball up and in. 1-0 on Suzuki. Tigers got 1 run early. The home run by Kinsler. Ian then singled in another in the 8th, and a sac fly by Torrey Hunter made it 3-0. That's in for a strike. 1-1. David Price handed the ball to Jabba Chamberlain, who hands it to Joe Nathan. Slow roller, first base side. 2 gone.
This crowd's going to get up now. And why wouldn't they?
40,501 in attendance, and they are ready to bust loose. Oswaldo Arcia, the last chance for Minnesota. In there, strike one. Tigers are ready to rush the field. They need one more out. Nathan's 0-1. One ball and one strike on Arcia. High, 2-1. Miggy thought it was a strike, and his reaction. Tigers want this badly. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Tigers are 1 strike away. Avila flashing the signals. And the 2-2. Should Arcia reach, Escobar is on deck. They're on their feet, 40,000 plus. And again the 2-2. Popped him up. Foul ground. Avila is under it. And they got it. The Tigers have done it. For the 4th consecutive year, they are champions of the American League Central Division. And let the celebration begin.
It wasn't very easy this year for the team that was expected to run away with the Central. But at the end of the day, they were able to handle their business and punch their ticket once again.
The Tigers come pouring out of the field, and the emotion comes pouring out as well. Stress of getting the final victory to nail it shut. The Tigers finally do it in game 162. They win their 4th consecutive Central Division crown. And they are on their way as Central Division champs into postseason 2014. David Price at the center of it today, Rod. He was absolutely magnificent.
It is the very reason that David Dombrowski rolled the dice, trading a couple of very popular players to get David Price. They knew that they would lean on him. They knew that they would need him to pick some big games. They didn't necessarily think it'd be 162, but he got it done today.
And his 15th win of the season is the biggest of the year for the Detroit Tigers. Their 90th victory of the season seals the American League Central Division crown.
This place is loud.
2.9 million fans through the turnstiles this year. And the Tigers and their fans celebrate today. Right now, let's send it down to the field. John Keating standing by with Ian Kinsler.
All right, Mario, thanks. What a day it was for Ian Kinsler. Can you just describe the feeling?
Can't. It's impossible to describe. It's a lot of hard work put into it from every single one of these guys to get to this point. It's been a battle of the season. I mean, just a bunch of tough games all year. Falling out of first, getting back into first. You know, we just try to keep our heads down, continue to work hard, and you know, we're in. We're in.
Your home run had a loud sound to it early on in the third inning of today's game. Did you have a sense that that might be all that was done offensively today?
Oh, heck no. I didn't think that was going to hold up, and I didn't think that was all we were going to put on the board. Their guy threw a hell of a game. You know, he was changing speeds with his fastballs, hitting spots with his off-speed stuff, keeping us off balance. You know, Miggy hit a couple balls hard right at people. It was a tough game, but can't say anything more about David Price. The guy's a horse, and that's who you want on the mound right there.
As you're watching him work from behind him, how good was his stuff today?
He was working that cutter away. He's locking right-handers hitters up. They were uncomfortable, and he was dialed in, man. He was dialed in with all his pitches.
This is a special baseball town. As you look around here, 40,000 on the last day of the season. It has been a team that's been filled with expectations all year. What do you say to these folks who've been waiting for a moment like this?
We're in. We're in. We need sore throats the rest of October. We need people screaming, yelling, making noise, getting excited in this place like they are right now, and we're going to have a lot of fun in October.
Congratulations. Go get some bubbles.
Thanks.
All right, we've got David Price that's coming over right now. Here comes David Price. I'm going to make sure that he gets the latest headgear. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When did you know that this was a special start for you?
It's 5 days ago. You know, I knew I had a chance to throw this game. I knew it had a chance to have a lot of meaning, and it did. And the guys responded, and it was a good win.
How good was your stuff compared to some of the other starts you've made with Detroit since the trade deadline?
It was good. You know, I commanded my fastball for the most part, threw my off speed for strikes, had a lot of good defensive plays. You always need those, and the guys hit, so that's what you need to do.
You didn't have a lot of wiggle room. I guess that makes sure that your focus stays right on home plate.
Yeah, I mean, Gibson threw the ball extremely well. His pitch count was down all day long, and you know, luckily for us, we got to him there with Ian's home run, and then two more there in the bottom of the eighth. So it's always good.
You've had this Champaign experience before. How good does that feel once you get to the top step of the clubhouse?
It feels awesome. I'm hot right now, so it'll be nice and cold.
All right, beat it, scram, go enjoy it with your teammates. David Price, the starter and winner, and what a day he had when his team absolutely had to have him, Mario.
Absolutely, Keats, and he was just fantastic today. The Tigers, well, they had to win a nail-biter here this afternoon. Nothing was given to this team. As Ian Kinsler said, Kyle Gibson threw a whale of a ball game. Joe Nathan had to come on and get the final 3 outs. But right now, the Tigers are making their way into a clubhouse that is about to get awfully, awfully messy. And that's what these celebrations are all about. But it just never came easy for the Tigers this year, and Joe Nathan can just kind of stand around and take it all in right now. After a perfect 1-2-3 ninth inning, Jabba Chamberlain got a couple of outs out of the bullpen as well. But of course, the big story today, David Price, the acquisition of the trading deadline. Boy, did he do his job and then some today. In front of 40,501, here's the final out. Avila squeezes it, and Joe Nathan got it done. Alex Avila catching the most important pop-up of the season, and let the celebration begin. And for a guy in Miguel Cabrera who's meant so much to this organization, you celebrate as well, big fella. Torrey Hunter, 39 years of age, celebrating the Central Division Championship as the Tigers defeat a team in which Hunter grew up with, the Minnesota Twins. And here come the Tigers celebrating out of their dugout. This scene, ladies and gentlemen, never, ever gets old. They may be grown-ups, but they're still kids. And hopefully the Tigers are World Series bound. Their fans believe. $2.9 million through the turnstiles here this year. And in the Tigers clubhouse, the party has begun. The champagne corks are popped, and the Tigers are about to let loose.